Hi, good morning. This is part 5 of The Devil in the Detail. Section 194 IA talks about TDS on sale of an immovable property at a rate of 1% if the consideration for the sale exceeds 50 lakhs. Finance Bill 2022 is proposing to amend this by saying that it is getting aligned with the provisions of Section 43CA and Section 50C. If you recollect, Section 50C and 43CA presume that if the stamp value of the on the sale of an land or building or both exceeds the actual consideration, then the stamp value will be deemed to be the consideration. Accordingly, the capital gains taxation and 43CA business income taxation in the hands of the real estate builders, etc., would be done accordingly. Now, there is a tolerance limit of 10% which is imposed under Section 50C as well as under Section 43CA to our recollection. This tolerance limit was earlier at a 5%, while the Finance Act of 2020 made the amendment with effect from 1/4/21 that the tolerance will become 10%. Now, courts have read that the tolerance has to be read retrospectively, including the 5% tolerance, because it's an ameliorative provision to the benefit of the assessee, which would date back to the date the said sections were introduced, which is Section 50C with effect from 1/4/2003, if my memory serves right, and Section 43CA effective from 1/4/2004 accordingly. What this budget does is it is trying to bring in the provisions of Section 50C and 43CA as a part and parcel, as a subset into Section 194 IA. Accordingly, the law effective from 1/4/2022 for TDS under Section 194 IA will be read as under. If the sale consideration is lower than the stamp value and the stamp value exceeds 50 lakhs, then TDS obligation will get triggered. On the contrary, if the sale value is lower than the stamp value will be treated as the sale consideration and the TDS will be applicable as accordingly on the stamp value. So, the law for the first time on TDS is imputing an artificial value which is mentioned under an anti-evasion section like 43CA or 50C into the annals of a TDS provision. Now, this is again a little bit too difficult to understand. Now, let me explain you why it is difficult or why it is hard to digest. The tolerance limit under 50C as well as 43CA was introduced because the department sneezed at even the slightest variation between the stamp value to the actual consideration. The result, they went in for departmental valuation even for the frivolous of the frivolous violations or the deviations to the stamp value. Now, this was found too expensive from a cost perspective, even from the departmental angle. The result is that tolerance was brought in. Readers will also recollect that under 43CA, which is applicable for business income on sale of residential flats, etc., by realtors, as a matter of post-COVID liberalization, the finance bill enacted a provision whereby a tolerance of 20% would be given to residential units which are sold from November to say I think up to June 2021, provided the sale value of that consideration of those residential flats do not exceed 2 crores. So there is as such under the law for 43CA alone a further tolerance on sale to liquidate piled up residential stocks, especially up to 20%. Now, the 194 1A amendment, I am not saying it need not get aligned in lines of the 50C or 43CA. That is for the wisdom of the legislature to enact or not to enact. But without considering the tolerance limit or without considering a practicality, if they are trying to bring in the provisions of 50C and 43CA in an indirect way into 194A, that is like killing, trying to have the goose instead of the golden eggs. Now, that also casts an onerous obligation on the hands of the detectors. They will need to watch out for the value of the stamp value as well before they take forward the deduction of TDS under Section 194 IA. Besides that, the law also under 50C and 43CA, both are analogous sections, has also another feature that if the sale of the agreement is different to the sale of the actual registration, then the date of the registration may be taken, the stamp value on the date of registration may be taken as the sale value, as the stamp value in relation to the actual consideration for the purposes of invoking section 50C or 43CA. So much of leeway exists under 50C and 43CA to remove its teeth or it getting applied only in genuine cases. But on the contrary, 194IA is now being brought in to read otherwise. A friend of mine objected to the caption saying that you are talking about devil in the detail. Maybe for a change, let me call this provision the imp in the ink. Enjoy having a great day. Thank you.